unfortunately for us, this was the first of many interactions with these dudes. Hello, tropical beauties. Welcome back to another story time. This one is a little bit more wholesome, but still a little weird. It's about my first encounter with a peculiar set of characters who made my year in Korea very, very memorable. So if you've hung out in Hongdae, I swear, like in recent years, you probably are gonna be able to figure out exactly who I'm talking about because they're that. I don't even have a word to describe them. So this happened in between my military guy story time and my J Park story time. So my military one was like my second or third week in Korea. My J Park story time was already in October, like the beginning of October. So I had already been in Korea for like a month and a half. So this was a night that I was out with my friends, including Siomari and Kamari, which if you've seen the Learning the Club vlog, which is the popular one, they're in that vlog. So we went clubbing with another one of our friends and we ended the night at Hip Hop Gavia. So it was already like 4-ish in the morning, 4 or 5. I feel like it was close to the train starting. So Siomari, Kamari, and myself, we were all really tired. So since another group of like people from Hanyang, which was our university, came and they knew our other friend, we decided to just go, and she was like fine staying with the other group and she would like get home later. So when Siomari, Kamari, and I are walking down the main street in Hongdae, this is how chaotic this was. I don't even remember like what really happened for like these 5 seconds, but I know that Kamari was attacked. It was just like something weird happened, and then suddenly like 3 guys were like following us. To give you more context, these guys, 2 of them were shirtless. One of the shirtless guys was trying to talk to Kamari. One of the shirtless guys was trying to talk to me. And then the other guy, he was just like normal. So Mr. Shirtless Man harassing me was wearing a jean jacket. And he was just like trying to spit game at me. He was like, yo, like, where are you from? I was like, I'm Puerto Rican. He's like, oh my God, I love Puerto Rican girls. I remember he asked me like, who do you like? Or like, what's your favorite artist or something? And I said, oh, I like J Park. He was like, I knew it. I knew you liked J Park. I'm J Park's manager. Really? You're J Park's manager? Really? You who has a weed tattoo on your chest? You're J Park's manager? Really? You look 19? Really? J Park's manager, who we're gonna call him Elmo. And we're gonna call the other shirtless man Big Bird. And we're gonna call the normal guy Bert. So Big Bird was also trying to spit game at Kamari, and I just know that she was not having it. She was like, hey, can you tell your friends to leave us alone? So we keep walking down the street while I'm low-key entertaining Elmo because I just found it fascinating that this shirtless jean jacket wearing man with a Sesame Street headband is like drunk and asking me a lot of questions and throwing me a lot of compliments. I was flattered and amused and a little scared. So we're trying to get away from that, and we made the stupid mistake of going left instead of right. Because if you go to the right, you go up another main road, which eventually leads you down. That's Main Street where the busking is, and which is close to the train station and exits or entrances. But we went to the left, which is the direction in which the street where Attention, Sabotage, Brand New. If you want to see these guys, you can see them at Brand New. Yeah, we went in that direction instead, trying to run away from these dudes, which did not work at all in our favor because we ended up on like a lonely corner, like the 6 of us.
It's like, you're so beautiful, give me 5 minutes, let me talk with her 5 minutes. Y como ahí decía el otro, como que, tell your friends to leave us alone. We were walking home, como que pa' irnos. He was like, oh, but just give me 1 minute. Y yo se puso a hablar con Kamari. Dijo como que, give me 1 second, 5 minutes, because I just want to talk with her. She's so beautiful.
He was making some bold promises and claims. He was like, do you want Louis Vuitton? I'll get you Louis Vuitton. Do you want, like, I got chains. Look at my chains. Like, I got you. Like, whatever you want. Like, I'll get it to you. Just, like, go to dinner with me. Like, please. Oh, my God. I just remember something. Homeboy straight up, he took my hands, and not like Jay Park. That was a good time. He was like, "You see these wrists?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm trying to cuff them." Oh my god. I was like, what the f? So while this is happening, Kamari's dealing with Big Bird, and Xiomari is literally sitting on these steps next to me and Elmo. She's sitting next to Bert, and they're both just like enjoying the show. I think they bonded over the mutual fact that they were wearing Adidas. Like Xiomari had an Adidas jacket and he was wearing an Adidas tracksuit. So that was a spiritual connection that they had then and there. He was the only one, shout out to Bert. Bert was normal. Bert did not try to harass us or like talk to us or hit on us or anything. He was just like, "These are my friends. I am sorry." That man talked for so long, and I just entertained the conversation. So we followed each other on Instagram because I just liked digging myself deeper in this hole. And eventually we left, and we were just like, what the was that? Unfortunately for us, this was the first of many interactions with these two. Elmo and I had a little friendship. It lasted about like 3 weeks. I listened to the music and I thought they had a lot of potential. And eventually he even asked me if I'd ever managed anyone before, and I was like, no, but I can give advice. And he actually helped me out with a little something involving YG, which was a whole embarrassing story in itself, involving the Daddy Yankee story. So that's gonna be like a series, because that was long and exhausting. But Elmo and I had a little falling out because Elmo liked to wear his pants really low, and I was constantly like telling him like, bro, like your pants, like pull up your freaking pants. I also may have told him to wear chapstick because his lips look really crusty on one of his like Insta stories. And eventually he got tired of me giving my opinion, and he was like, yo, bitch, you always so negative, blah blah blah. This is literally how this man would speak and write. I was just like, whatever. I ain't even gonna be your friend. I'm not gonna be your manager. So we saw them like almost every weekend. Like honestly, we saw them a lot in Hongdae. They're always hanging out in that street where Attention and Brand New are at. So I would always go to Attention. So I only have myself to blame. The next time we saw them, we were actually at Go-Go S2, which is now one of the Sabotage locations on that same street. Actually, we were sitting by the pool table in that bar / club, and suddenly the Sesame Street Squad bounces in the club. So it was Elmo. I don't recall Bert being there, but we got Cookie Monster. Cookie Monster is the scariest one out of all of them. So it's Cookie Monster, Elmo, some short dudes, and their hyping squad, basically, because they had a hype squad. They were a rap group, or they are a rap group still. I don't know. Freaking Cookie Monster starts giving Mawada lap dance. Meanwhile, I'm sitting, sharing a chair with Xiomari, and I'm sitting against the wall, so I'm like hiding Elmo. Elmo, don't see me. So they stayed in that bar for a little bit. All I know is Cookie Monster was on the pole acting like Magic Mike / Hustlers, but like not as sexy and not as fun.
Se trepó con una muchacha, and then he took his shirt off. Oh God, why? Y yo no sé si fue ese día o fue otro de las miles de veces que salimos. Que estábamos ahí también. ¿Qué? Yo sé que nosotros fue para el baño o algo, pero que después lo sacaron a él y a una muchacha, because they were in the bathroom.
Yes! Oh my God, that shit was so funny, and they were both so drunk. And she was like a foreign girl.
Yep.
I was just like, girl, why? We literally saw these people like at least once a month in the like 10 months that we were in Korea. So just imagine. I remember this one time we were like with some of our friends who also knew their like squad, and we were like talking in the middle of the street, and Cookie Monster saw Xiomari, and Cookie Monster saw a cookie that he wanted to eat, and he basically forced her to give him her Instagram and like her follow him and whatever. Man, we'd see them out in the clubs, and if they weren't shirtless, like that was rare. That was a rare occurrence. They were shirtless most of the time. If I saw them with a shirt, maybe like 3 times during the winter, that would be, yeah, that sounds about right. So it's just crazy. Like you would think going to Korea, you're like, okay, I might meet like weird, eccentric people, whatever. That's all over the world. But you wouldn't think that you'd meet these kinds of like batshit crazy type of people. Like they would make the craziest videos of like doing weird shit on the train, doing weird stuff like in the middle of the street, in front of cops, just like chaos. They're like the embodiment of chaotic energy. Later on in the year, we made more friends, and one of them also knew about them or had interacted with them. And I was telling him about my first encounter with them and how like Elmo was hitting on me and they basically attacked us. And like first they attacked Kamari and then they followed us, and it was just like weird and just crazy. And he told me that that was literally how he met them too, because apparently he was like with a group of friends and they also like attacked one of the girls that was with them, and that's how they met them. So that was just like, that's their go-to method. But here's the lesson that you can learn from this. Don't be too nice. Don't be too nice like me. As much as they were so intriguing and entertaining, just don't be too nice to people in general. Don't be like, entertaining, like crazy shit like that. Because in their case, they were just like straight up just crazy, almost like comedians. But in other cases, it could be a straight up psychopath who might like kill you. So just be careful. Don't be like me. I was so stupid. Like while I was in Korea, I didn't know how to say no to like if someone would ask me for my cacao, or if somebody asked me for my Instagram or whatever. To the point where when the first interaction ended, like when we first met, I remember Elmo, you know, in his shirtless glory, he was like, "Can I at least get a hug?" And my dumbass was like, "Okay." But he just like squished me against him. He was like, ugh. I feel like what they were doing was trying to promote their music, but also, then this is just me speaking in general of like all the stuff that they would post, all the stuff that they do in the streets. Like it's a way of promoting via being like crazy and like, but it didn't really make you kind of like take them that seriously as rappers, which is what they aspire to be, I think. Still, I'm pretty sure that most people that have gone clubbing in Hyundai for like more than a few times can at least recall one instance where they interacted with these dudes. I feel like a lot of times we as women feel like we're obligated to entertain certain interactions. Like for example, my friend, when she got the lap dance, she was so uncomfortable and she was like, but she wasn't super aggressive about it. No one needs to be grabbing anyone, and with my friend, like no one needs to be giving anyone unsolicited lap dances. And I feel like a lot of times we as women feel like we have to be gentle with how we approach these interactions, gentle in our like refusal, gentle in our like please no, because a lot of times it's definitely fear, but other times it's just because like, oh, we're gonna be seen as we're overreacting, or we're gonna be seen as like we're like dramatic or whatever. And really, if you're just uncomfortable with something, just be like, be unapologetic, be aggressive about it, be like, get the off me. So learn from that. Learn that about this interaction. I wish them the best, but they need to be a little like less insane.